Hey, fellow babies, and welcome to the show that won the Razzie 3 times on the trot for our pornographic interpretation of the Lord of the Rings trilogy. It's the 42 show.
Oh, not more awards. We've got no space for them. Tonight's show, and another big smash hit of a big butcher's deck of crap. We have, Apple's going down. Oh, dear. We've got some EV news, troublesome passengers. Oh, and a cheeky little vase that you might be with your grandma's. And, what do you do with when you go on a really difficult date? But first of all, we've got Musk watch and lots of Trump dates. But before we do any of that, we're going to dip into Dick's little dive of Putin has gone on a visit to Korea.
Yeah, as Russian President Vladimir Putler visits North Korea for the first time in something like 24 years, one publication says. Western officials will be closely watching the 2-day trip for signs of a closer military partnership between the nuclear-armed states. North Korea has not been shy in its outpourings of reverence for Putin, describing him as a comrade in arms in the battle against what both countries see as Western aggression and solidity. The country is certainly rolling out the red carpet for the Russian president's visit, with videos and images on social media showing roads, probably road, decorated with Russian flags and images of Putler himself. Seriously. So in this photo, I would like to say that Kim Jong-un seems to still be a little sore from last night's partying and negotiations. But Putin praised North Korea for firmly supporting Moscow's war in Ukraine. No, that's invasion. Writing that he
called it a war.
Yeah. He plans to lift relations with North Korea to a higher level. The program is very full. Kremlin made what is that? You're a jerk, me off well. That's it. A considerable amount of time will be dedicated to informal contacts and blah, blah. But North Korea has supplied Russia with millions of rounds of Soviet-era artillery munitions as a crucial lifeline to prop up Russia's military campaign in Ukraine. That's invasion. U.S. Secretary of Defense Lloyd Austin said last month that supplies of munitions and missiles, as well as Iranian drones, had helped Russian military, very much so when they needed it. They've also provided ballistic missiles and so on. So I think what's happening is Kim Jong-un in this picture just discovered how costly it is to your backside to partner up with this POS. And but he probably has no choice to play along at this point, and neither does the other side, because they don't have very many friends. So the Legion of Doom is really consolidating now. Not good news.
They're just going to be the guys left in the corner at the party nobody wants to talk to. Didn't bring their own drink. They're just drinking everybody else's.
It just goes to show you got to have better friends, right?
Yeah. We can try.
Yeah.
And if you want to be Putin's friend, drop us a line and we'll put you in touch. And you might get blocked.
Yeah, but we'll try.
Here's one person who wasn't very, very friendly, because an American Airlines passenger who was gagged and bound with duct tape to her seat after being accused of attempting to open an aircraft door mid-flight is being sued by the Federal Aviation Administration. I didn't know you could even do that.
Wow.
But Heather Wells, 34, was flying from Dallas to Charlotte, North Carolina on July 6, 2021, when she began causing a ruckus on the aircraft, biting and spitting at staff and passengers, and allegedly attempting to open the front cabin door. A viral video showed her duct taped to the... In the aftermath of the incident, the FAA first fined Wells a record $81,950 in civil penalties in 2022, as airline regulators battled against a surge of wayward passengers disrupting flights. Yeah, there does seem to be an ongoing thing. Wow. But now U.S. Attorney Jamie Esperanza has filed a lawsuit in San Antonio's federal court on behalf of the FAA, seeking to collect the money from Wells, according to a lawsuit first seen by. Okay, so they're already fined it, but they haven't got the money yet.
Jeez.
But the business class passenger wanted out after drinking a neat Jack Daniels as she began running to the front of the plane and attempting to grab the handle of the front door cabin.
Wow.
So she had one drink.
Holy, and then just lost her mind.
Just wondering
What kind of meds was she on? Like,
no idea. Wells began talking incoherently to passengers before crawling back towards the main cabin. We should get her a guest on the show, and then threatened a flight attendant that tried to intervene.
Wow!
Swerving past the stewards, the passenger went for the front door. She yelled profanities. Before two more attendants restrained her.
Attendants, though, had I been anywhere near her, I would have grabbed her and knocked her cold as soon as she went for the door. I'm like, not on my watch, man. Not a chance.
I think I'd have helped her with the door. Get out. Don't come back.
Everybody put your seatbelts on, please. We're getting rid of this one.
But ultimately, the flight attendants and passengers were able to restrain the defendant with duct tape and flex cuffs and get her seated.
Look at that. Look at that. They totally did duct tape. Like, first she was duct taped to the chair, and then she started with the mouth, and they were like, fine, you're getting that too. I could totally see it.
I know. That's amazing that they actually get. Now, when I first saw this story, I was really surprised which way around this was. I thought she was going to be suing the American Airlines, not the FAA suing her.
Yeah. Yeah, crazy. When the whole plane binds together as one to tape you to a chair, you know that your lawsuit is going to fail. I'm sure every lawyer just said, there's nothing I can do for you, Karen. You know?
Oh, dear.
Oh, that's funny, man.
Let's leave that story behind.
Yeah.
Story.
Yeah. So let's go to one here, Adobe. You know, Adobe, a little while back there, switched their product from being purchased to being a subscription. And that alone irked a lot of people. But the U.S. The U.S. government on Monday sued Adobe, accusing the maker of Photoshop and Acrobat and some other stuff of harming consumers by enrolling them in its most lucrative subscription plans without clearly disclosing important terms. Oh, yeah. So this is not good. So Adobe prioritized profits while spending years ignoring numerous complaints from users struggling to cancel costly subscriptions without incurring hefty hidden fees. And this is the U.S. Federal Trade Commission's words in a lawsuit filed Monday. According to the FTC, Adobe knew that canceling subscriptions was hard, but determined that it would hurt revenue to make canceling any easier. So Adobe never changed the convoluted process. Even when the FTC launched a probe in 2022 specifically indicating that Adobe's practices may be illegal, Adobe did nothing to address the alleged harm to consumers. Adobe also provides no refunds or only partial refunds to some subscribers who incur charges after an attempted unsuccessful cancellation. Adobe repeatedly decided against rectifying some of the unlawful practices because of the revenue implications. And they're asking the jury to permanently block Adobe from continuing the seemingly deceptive practices. There's a bit more to it here, but let me just get to the meat and potatoes of it. To lock subscribers into recurring monthly payments, Adobe would typically pre-select by default its most popular annually plan, but you can pay it monthly. But it's an annual plan, and that locks users into a thing where if you cancel after a 2-week period, you owe an early termination fee, an ETF, that's about 50% of the remaining annual subscription. But
That's mean.
And this doesn't come up in any of the readmes or any of the thing about purchasing the plan. It's hidden where you have to see this little thing in the bottom corner and click it to get a pop-up that shows you the extra terms and conditions. Right?
Oh, that's just ugh.
Yeah.
Bastards.
Exactly. So what ends up happening is people go, oh, so I can cancel now and pay you $500, or I can just keep it for the year and pay the $700, and then instead of $500 and get nothing, it's $700 and keep it. Remember to cancel at the end of the year, and this is what happens, right? So the FTC is all over this, and Adobe is going to have a boatload of BS to answer for. And I, for one, couldn't be happier. As soon as Adobe went to subscription, I gave them the old middle finger, and they've never gotten a cent from me since.
That's really unfortunate because I do pay for them.
But you're not somebody that's going to sign up and then go, oh, wait, this is way more than I need. I'm going to go in a different direction and then get stuck with a $500 bill because of it, right?
Yeah.
Right.
I have thought about cancelling every now and then, but we the whole family share it, so a bit difficult, really.
Yeah.
The family shares it. I pay for it.
Yeah. Well, of course, right? That's what family are for. So, yeah, just another example of a badass, dirty company treating you like an open wallet. And there'll always be more reports of that around here because I just can't seem to evade finding news about it. So, this is a cool story you got next, though, dude. I like this.
Yeah. I mean, if you are having trouble paying your Adobe account, well, maybe this will help, because a vase purchased for $3.99 at a Maryland thrift store turned out to be a nearly 2,000-year-old Mayan artifact.
Wow.
Anna Lee Dozier of Washington said she was shopping at the 2A thrift store in Clinton when her attention was grabbed by an unusual vase. It looked oddish, but I thought maybe 20, 30 years old and some kind of tourist reproduction thing. So I thought, I brought it home. Dozier said she was visiting Mexico on a work trip earlier this year when she noticed some items on display at the Museum of Anthropology bore a startling resemblance to the vase she purchased for $3.99. She spoke with a museum official who recommended she contacted the Mexican embassy when she returned home. Dozier shared photos and the dimensions of the vase with the embassy, and the item was identified as a Mayan artifact dating from AD 200 to 800. Dozier and her family returned the vase to the Mexican ambassador in a ceremony held at the Cultural Institute of Mexico.
Oh, that's cool. That's an amazing outcome for spending $4.
Yeah, once you got the $4 back.
Oh, yeah. Mexican embassy. Imagine the tequila that was flowing. It would have been a great party.
She says, I am thrilled to have played a part in its reparation story, and I would like it to go back to its rightful place and to where it belongs. Where's that? Who owned it? Was it in a Mayan temple?
Yeah.
Hasn't gone back that far. But also, I want it out of my home because I have 3 little boys, and I've been petrified. Well, it's gone now. And can you imagine a 2,000-year-old thing just like, smashed on the floor. Oh no.
Yeah. Here, pick this up before these little bastards ruin it.
Officials said the vase will eventually have a new home at a Mexican museum. Good, because it belongs in a museum.
I had that in my head too. I almost went, It's just it has to be, right? Yeah. So, let's see. From the idiot who donated that to another idiot as well, we've got Elon Musk. And so Tesla shareholders have reapproved that huge multi-billion dollar pay package for this man. Its value now is $44.9 billion, which is down from, I think, 60 because the stock has gone down, right? So the stockholders did a vote and they have approved the ratification of the 100% performance-based stock option. Now, this is all based on the performance of the company up to 2018 because this is when it first came to be and it's been a fight ever since. The shareholders also approved a cooperative move from Delaware to Texas. So to move the company, corporate move, sorry, and the re-election of James Murdoch and Kimball Musk, Elon's brother, onto the scene as well. Right. So this was taken out by a judge just a little while ago. And so now the shareholders are still wanting to do it. Even though the stock is down, the cars aren't selling. I don't understand this, but I guess that's why I'm not a stock market person.
I wonder how much the shareholders are getting though.
Well, the payment is to Musk himself. But it has something to do with putting more stock in play, makes shareholders more money, maybe, or something, because the stock seemed to go up on the announcement.
Wow.
But at the same time, a group of investors yesterday put a lawsuit in saying that the diversion of resources, hiring away employees in Tesla's AI division and diverting chips from Tesla and stuff to X for their new XAI thing that they're getting their tails waggy about is all completely wrong because there was no compensation back to Tesla for these situations, right? So, lawsuit in Delaware court was filed by 3 shareholders, the Cleveland Bakers and Teamsters Pension Fund, Daniel Hazen and Mitchell Giampetro. It seeks financial damages for Tesla and the discouraging of Musk's equity stake in XAI to Tesla. So I mean, like, imagine if the CEO of Coca-Cola started a competing software drink company on his own and then diverted some of the scientists that make all the formulas and stuff over to his new company and some of the ingredients and whatnot and got a new company starting up. Like, that's you can't do that, right? Like, corporate, it's not your bone play toy. There is a board of directors and stuff, you moron, right? And so this is where we're left. We've got a majority of shareholders that want to pay him out $45 billion. And you've got another group saying, well, he's screwing the company over so that he can get AI going with his new company now instead. It's an unbelievable mess. And I can't believe that that's just a normal day in the business world. Drives me crazy.
I find it really hard to believe that 42 billion is even the profit made by Tesla.
I know.
Never mind just a small part of the profit to pay Musk with.
Yeah, this is all stock values.
It's baffling.
It's just invented money. It's just created, right?
What if you just get to like a blank check, with 42 billion on it? You can't cash it.
Yeah. I'm just gonna write an extra 0 in there, guys. Okay,
just give him monopoly money.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, so what are you gonna do? That's a tail that ain't gonna wag itself.
I'll tell you what, we'll cook him and eat him. How about that? Because a remote Australian community has taken revenge on a massive saltwater crocodile by eating the 3.6 meter beast blamed for devouring pets and chasing children. On Wednesday, the police in the town of Bulla in Australia's Northern Territory. Hey, what?
They ate it.
They ate it. Yeah. Hang on. They shot the crocodile after deeming it a significant risk to the community. In a statement by the Northern Territory Police, said the predator had been stalking and lunging out of the water at children and adults, and it had also reportedly taken multiple community dogs. In a waste-conscious move, the crocodile was prepared for a feast in the traditional manner, the police said, but not before authorities took the opportunity to give local children an impromptu crocodile safety lesson, including an up-close look at the dangers within our waterways. It just shoved the children's in the dead crocodile's mouth. There you go, son. That's what we'll feel like.
I can just imagine some, conservation officer looking at the children. So if you see it, kill it and eat it. It's just
don't run away.
Yeah.
Shoot it and start the barbecue. But there's a Northern Territory Police Sergeant Andrew McBride said the animal was cooked up into a crocodile tail soup. That's one hell of a soup. He was on the barbecue. A few of the pieces were wrapped in banana leaves and cooked underground. It was a rather large traditional feast, and there were a few full bellies. It's huge.
Good thing people don't act like this in war.
I mean, the crocodile species are protected in Australia, where hunting the animals has been banned by federal law since 1971.
But if it's for revenge, it's okay? Is that the moral of the story then?
That's what it seems to be like. I'm going to guess if the police shoot it, it's not poaching, I suppose. Oh, dear me.
That's strange.
Mm-hmm.
My first reaction would not have been to eat it, but each to their own.
When it comes charging at you, you go, "Oh, handbag, boots. Oh, and by the way, it looks delicious." But it's damn good eating, though. I bet it is.
Oh yeah, that's true. Mm-hmm. It's just oh, that thing ate my dog, so I'm gonna eat it. It's just odd. Yeah. So, from our daughter, Donald Trump was hanging out on a podcast that I'm not going to mention here, and he admitted he used artificial intelligence to craft an absolutely beautiful speech. The presumptive Republican nominee for president appeared on ... And he said he met somebody from the tech industry who showed him an AI program. And he says, I had a speech written by AI out there. One of the top people. What? This guy can do command prompts like nobody. Like, I mean, what? So he said this on last Thursday, or I think it was, or something. He said, oh, you're going to make a speech? Yeah. And he sat down and went click, click, click. And like 15 seconds later, he shows me my speech. Written so beautifully. He said, I'm using this. I'd never seen anything like it. He didn't actually say what speech he used it for, but he then joked about how his speechwriter's career is basically over thanks to this whole new AI thing. Yeah.
To be honest with you, I didn't even know he had a speechwriter the way he rambles.
That's an amazing revelation in and of itself, isn't it? I
mean, thank God Trump is using artificial intelligence, because there's no fucking intelligence in that man.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, none of it.
Cognitive abilities.
Oh, yeah.
We'll get into that.
Yeah, like, look at that. That's a grinning sun-kissed orange. Are you kidding me? So he also has started to challenge Joe Biden to take a cognitive test, but then in the same rambling speech screwed up the name of his own doctor. So yeah. He was talking in Detroit, and he said he doesn't even know what the word inflation means. I think he should take a cognitive test like I did, talking about President Joe Biden. Now, Trump did take one back in 2018. Right. So I think we could probably count his age as collecting in dog years now. So, that's like 49 years mentally for that guy. Right. But then he continued. Doc Ronnie Johnson. Does everybody know Ronnie Johnson, congressman from Texas there? He was the White House doctor. And he said I was the healthiest president, he feels, in history. So I liked him very much immediately. However, he was clearly referring to Ronnie Jackson, who was the White House physician for part of his presidency. Right?
Ronnie, Johnny, Donnie, Jackson, Maxon, who cares?
Yeah. It was one of Michael's older brothers. I can't remember. Right?
I mean, this place, he's never been bothered about facts anyway. So
no, exactly. Right. Yeah. Yeah, just watch him in court and you know that, right? Yeah. So
Little monkey.
that is a freaking odd picture, dude.
Yeah, this is one of those dates. At least she's eating a salad. You don't have to put too much fat on her. But a waitress was fired for posting a TikTok video of a man taking a blow-up doll on a date to upscale Charlotte restaurant. The video was captured by a server, Tara Bjork, who says she was aware she wasn't supposed to be filming while at work, but couldn't help capture the moment.
He's got a thumbs up. He did it for attention. I don't see the,
He's happy. He's happy.
Yeah.
Yeah. She said that it was pretty clear that the diner it was a joke, but the man seemed to be committed to his
Bought
meal
it
out.
food and everything, right?
Yeah. Placing the doll down was one of the more mortifying moments because it was obviously stiff and inflated and wasn't sitting. So he was trying to maneuver it into a chair, and I was like, "Oh my god!" And it was so bad to watch. I had to leave the room. She said. Bjork posted the video to TikTok, which has been viewed more than 2.5 million times. The man who took the inflatable woman is Henry Herrera. He said the outing was a punishment for losing his fantasy football league. The funny thing, he says the funny thing was it was my idea. Herrera said, so last year we started punishments for the last place finisher on our fantasy football league. Herrera said he's not upset with Bjork or anyone filming him. Kind of assumed it was going to happen. As I was sitting down, I was already saw like 6 phones recording me. So I knew sooner or later the video was going to be going somewhere. The restaurant management fired Bjork for filming and posting the video. She said I was let go and it's totally fine. It was on technical reasons. I knew one of two things was going to happen. Either the video was going to get no views and I would be fine, or it was going to blow up and I was going to have to deal with the consequences.
Yeah.
She said, I've already got another job lined up.
But 2.5 million views, and that's positive publicity for lots of people, because if the restaurant's willing to let that go, I mean, they're cool, right?
Yeah.
I don't see a problem. I would have probably said, let's not keep doing this. But, I mean, to fire the person, that's,
Well, the thing is, it's supposedly a very, very posh restaurant, but this guy turns up with a blow up doll and he comes into the main desk and says, "Oh, table for 2, please."
Yeah, and they did it.
Yeah, they said, "Yeah, fine, no problem."
Exactly. Yeah, you guys can't sit beside each other, right? You're gonna have to,
Oh dear! Good job they didn't put her next to a heater or anything like that.
Yeah. But yeah, it's a strange thing. I mean, what the hell?
Herrera says he will be changing his fantasy football strategy next season, so he won't have to face another public humiliation.
Yeah, and he shouldn't come up with such harsh ideas because it did land in his lap, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. You owe her a good tip, buddy.
Or a good kiss.
Yeah. Brussels, the EU regulators over there that are doing the thing where you have to open your platform to companies not having to constantly use your service and then you get a cut of everything, are about to charge Apple over stifling competition after already being warned after an investigation that their platform does not meet the new regulations, right? So Apple did a change where they brought out all these new rules for the App Store so that, sure, you can use other outside payment things, but when you do, we're going to charge you this and this as well. And a lot of these companies are like, so Apple's now going to get more from me on the new rules versus the old rules. And the EU is not fooled by this joke of a plan at all, and they are actively still on it, and it's about to be, Apple will be the first big tech group to be charged. It's about to happen. Oh yeah. Now Alphabet, which owns Google and YouTube, and Meta, Instagram and Facebook, they're also heavily under investigation here. But it looks like Apple's rewrite of its rules to try to get around their rules, but still collect the same amount of money, has pissed them off royally. And I don't think that was the right idea here because it's not looking good at all.
I'm pretty sure that wasn't part of their plan.
Yeah. So if they are found to be breaking this new DMA, the acronym for this whole law they set up, Apple faces daily penalties for non-compliance of up to 5% of its average daily worldwide turnover, which currently sits at about $1 billion. Apple will feel that, right? I mean, it's a small percentage, but that's your turnover, that's revenue, not profit, right? Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. So everybody's going to be watching this one closely in tech, and Google and Facebook must be crapping in their pants too, because they do the exact same things on their platforms as well. So everybody's getting hit with this, and we'll soon have a time when you can get like the Amazon App Store on an Apple phone, but you just get Apple versions of the apps. Right. I think we're about 4 or 5 years away from that. And that'll be interesting. It'll be cool. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. They're all the same game. Let's be honest.
Yeah. So your next one is very odd.
Yeah. I mean, we've got a French woman here who's been taking telecom giant Orange to court for moral harassment and discrimination at work, accusing the company of paying her for 20 years without actually giving her any tasks to do. Lawrence van Wassenhof was recruited as a civil servant by France Telecom in 1993 before the company was taken over by Orange. Her original employer knew that she was hemiplegic with partial paralysis of the face and limbs from birth and suffered from epilepsy, and offered her a position that adapted to her medical conditions. There she worked as a secretary and in the HR department until 2002, when she asked to be transferred to another region of France. Her request was approved, but her new workplace was not adapted to her needs. An occupational medicine report confirmed that the position was not suited for her. Despite this, Orange allegedly failed to make any adjustments to her job, preferring to pay her a full salary for the next 20 years without giving her anything to do. That's bizarre.
Okay, so let me get this straight. She was paid for 20 years to do nothing, and now she's suing them for more money because she did nothing. It's just a whole lot of money for nothing. Am I?
No, you're not getting that wrong. Yeah, that's
how
exactly
can you sue
on.
Somebody for a free 20 years of existence? You just simply had to be, and here I get paid every month. What do you do?
I suppose she wanted to do something, but
mow the lawn.
Despite Orange's best efforts to ignore Van Wassenhoef, the disabled woman did her best to report the situation to the government and higher authority for the fight against discrimination. In 2015, a mediator appointed by Orange was mandated to resolve the situation, but things didn't improve at all, as the company continued to pay her without assigning her any tasks. Her lawyers claimed that the telecom giant was thus trying to coerce her into quitting her job. You see, this is where it's coming into it. They prefer to pay her than make her work, Lawrence's lawyer said, adding that the woman has filed a complaint against the company and 4 of its managers for moral harassment and discrimination at work linked to her health condition. Work for a person with a disability means having a place in society, recognition, social bonds that are created. The woman's lawyer said, in this case, Lawrence Van Wassenhof was denied all of this by being put on the shelf for 20 years in the hope that she would quit.
She could have gone and volunteered somewhere and had a very fulfilling existence and just simply taken their money every month. I'm not sure. Like, I understand I want, the desire to be part and useful, but you could have done it easily on their dime. It's weird.
It doesn't say whether they basically like put her in a cupboard for 20 years or she just stayed at home. So I don't know if she actually went into the office. That's what I think I think she never went because it wasn't a good environment for her because of her unique needs, and as such she was just literally at home collecting money. But if you were at home just collecting money and earning an okay living, you could do whatever you wanted to and kind of fulfill yourself, and I'm just not sure it's lawsuit worthy. Yeah, I'm very jealous of her tooth though. It's a very nice tooth. It's much better than mine.
Yeah, she could make a beautiful line in a cob of corn, man. Just
Oh, don't get me started.
Quickly before we're gone, Henrik Fisker was a big ass car designer who did BMWs and stuff, and then he came up with this company, the Fisker Automotive Group or whatever they were called, and this was his car, the Fisker. K. And this was one of those, it has an engine, but it's also an electric, and it was kind of a strange car. It was cool looking, right? But the company failed miserably and went out of business. So what did he do? He regrouped and reshuffled, and he created this, a new Fisker company. This is called the Ocean, and it's an all-electric EV. And it's been on the market, I think, for maybe 9 to 12 months, and the company just went bankrupt because it's a abhorrent piece of crap as well. So how did an idiot who knows how to draw a car, and even with this one, I'm not sure that's very good looking. I mean, if you go back to this one, at least it's kind of cool, right? But this just looks like something Kia would have put out 10 years ago. I mean, the Kias look even better now. But twice now he's failed and lost massive money for people. I wonder, we'll probably have a new Fisker that comes out in about 10 years, and it will be a complete piece of crap as well, and a bunch of people will lose money. It's weird how that just keeps happening over and over for certain people,
Yes. Yeah. Maybe we should call it a Vista.
Yeah. But yeah, watch what you invest in, I guess, is the moral of that story. So we're almost on time here. Look at the clock. We got 15 seconds. Do you want to give anybody some?
I can do this really, really quickly.
Okay.
Yeah, because here's a gripping news that adults have now become the largest consumers of toys, surpassing preschoolers in toy demand. For the first time, adults over 18 accounted for 1.5 billion in toy sales from January to April, according to Circana data.
Collectible.
Yeah, that's basically what it's come down to, because they all like their boys' toys, little heroes, Mattel, Hasbro, and Lego, all that kind of stuff. So yeah. I mean, let's face it. If it's $849 for a Star Wars Millennium Falcon, you're not buying it for the kids.
No way. Yeah, nobody's running around the backyard playing with that. And the graphic says out, so we're done. Thanks for joining us, everybody. We got our thank yous in the credits, and we'll see y'all soon.
Bye.
And a big thanks to the team who do all the grooving and moving for us in the background. We got CF Beauty, Annette from our new Sunday show. We got PJ CNET, BME, Shayna Caldwell, Crazy Cat, Leslie Bowe, The Kraut, and Super Chat Matt. So thanks, everybody. Couldn't do it without any of you.
And we'd like to thank you, all the lovely people that donate and send super chats. None of you here tonight, but yeah, never mind. Next time. And but yeah, we'd like to thank you all because it helps keep the channel running around here. Don't forget to like the video on the way out. I'm going to do that right now, so you do the same. And don't forget to share us out. Yeah, buy a Shills merch t-shirt, then send it to the Mexican embassy saying you found this. It's over 2,000 years old. And we'll become famous. And that's the way we got to go. We've got to get famous somehow. Oh, just do it. But until then, we'll see you on Thursday, I guess. Hey, Dick?
Yeah, Thursday edition, and then Friday for a double shot, and a weekend full of goodies, too.
Well,
take it easy, everybody.
Until then, stay chilly.